The Nomad build from the Division 1 was probably one of the most hated builds when it comes to PvP, but also in PvE it was one of the most loved builds because it would help you a lot. It had the survivability, health on kill, and also it would just give you an extra life when you are in a situation where you were about to die. So the Nomad was actually very helpful for a lot of players, especially for solo players. And today we're gonna be talking in this video about a build from the Division 2 that's really similar to the Nomad build from Division 1. And also I added some extra damage on top of it because of one gun. So as you see on this build, we are pretty tanky because we have 445,000 armor. The health is kind of low on 41,000, but we don't need to worry about our health. The major thing in here is going to be the armor. We're going to have the talent Unbreakable that we're going to be talking about in a second, but also very important in this build, we have a 126,000 armor on kill around these builds. Also, we're gonna have some synergy of talents in here that's gonna give us a lot of damage, and that's gonna be because of this gun right here, the Pyromaniac, which let's start off talking about it, right? So the gun of this show, this is actually has to be on this build. It's part of this build. So the Pyromaniac, as you guys know, it has the perfect ignited. Deal plus 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit. And on PvE this is great. On PvP it works, but in PvE this is even better because you can kill NPCs really fast and you're gonna be having this talent proccing at all time. The gun itself kills pretty fast. I like the Police M4. This is the Police M4 version of this gun. It has 20.5k damage per bullet on this build specifically, and has a RPM of 935. Now real quick, just to toggle the base damage, you guys can see right here my base damage on this gun is going to be 12,401 and plus 8,061 damage that I'm getting from this build. So that's going to be right there my base damage of my Pyromaniac, if you guys are interested to know. The second talent on this gun is going to be my Allegro, plus 10% rate of fire, very important and very helpful. And then the last talent, which is going to be one of my favorite last talents, which is Enwritten. While equipped, enemy kills have 5% chance to refresh active skills cooldown, can occur once every 60 seconds. I always say this all the time, I do like this talent a lot because it helps me get my skills faster. With that said though, I can say this gun is probably has everything that I like and is very good. It's probably my favorite AR so far in the game for PvE. It has everything I like. It has a good amount of damage, high base damage, it has the perfect ignited, Allegro and Enwritten. And I like the Police M4 of course. So all around this gun is very useful for me. For the mods on the guns, if we go on the scope, we have a scope that has plus 8% damage to elite. On the underbarrel we have plus 5% critical hit chance. On the muzzle we have plus 5% damage to elite. And last but not least, on the magazine we have plus 20 rounds with a minus 10% reload speed. The secondary in here, I'm gonna be going with the chatterbox for the last talent, the Bladdermouth. While holstered, reloading your weapon within 5 seconds after a kill grants 15% rate of fire for 10 seconds. That's basically right there more DPS to our build. And on this build, even though we have the talent on the backpack Spark, we do not need the Merciless. I do not recommend using the Merciless at all because you don't need the Merciless to proc that Spark. You have the Pyromaniac itself will be proccing that Spark all the time. So just go with the chatterbox for extra DPS, or if you want to go for headshots, you could use that also the Nemesis for that last talent preparation. My sidearm choice will be the pistol that comes with a gunner specialization, because it has these two talents right here that's going to be activated: Greased and Protected Reload. Now Greased, I'm not going to be really using it as much, but Protected Reload, while equipped, this weapon grants plus 10% bonus armor while reloading. Comes very handy, especially on this build where we're having a lot of armor. Now moving down for the build, let's start off with the mask. So the mask is gonna be the first Badger Tough on this build, and we're gonna have two of them on this build. By having two, we get two bonuses: 7% damage to elite and 15% armor on kill. Very important for this build. This is what we want. This is one of the other points of the build, is having a lot of armor on kill, and Badger Tough second bonus will give you 15%, and also we're gonna be having another 10% coming from the specialization, the gunner, and that's why we have it on this build. So going back to the mask, for the attributes we have 2 reds and 1 blue, 48% damage to elite, 4% critical hit chance, and 12,800 health. Then moving down for the chest piece, we have the second Badger Tough on this build, and this one is a special one. It's the named item 0Fs. It's a high-end Badger Tough that comes with the talent Perfect Unbreakable. 100% of max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within 7 seconds are not consumed. Can occur once every 60 seconds. So this is in here, that's basically what's it's becoming this build, just kind of like the Nomad of the Division 1, because once you are about to die, it's basically gonna proc and give you all your armor back and give you a second chance. That's basically the Nomad of the Division 1. So this is the closest thing we got from that. For the attributes, we have 2 blues and 1 red, 19,900 armor, 25% total armor, and 7% weapon damage. For the mods, we have 1 offensive and 1 defensive, 1% weapon damage, 1% damage to armor, 4% assault rifle damage. Then on the defensive mod, we have 7,900 armor, 1% health, and 1.5% total armor. Moving down for the holster. The holster is going to be the Gilligard on this build. We have 2 of them. Gilligard gives you a lot of blues and gives you also a lot of reds on the holster. So this holster is actually very good, even though the armor in here, I wish if it was a little bit higher. It can go up to 33, I believe, but I only have 28,000. By having 2 Gilligards, we have 2 bonus, 5% total armor and 20% hazard protection. The attributes in here, it's gonna be very important, at least this first one. 15,000 armor on kill. Remember, this build is all about armor on kill, and also armor on kill remind us of the Nomad build. This one has armor on kill and also health on kill. Now the health on kill in here is not necessary. You could go with just straight up health, or you can go with some critical hit chance in here for more DPS. In my case, I do need to go with 2 blues in here, so I can achieve that 11 blues on this build to unlock Unbreakable. For the mods, we have 2 offensive mods on the Gilligard holster, and that's why I like to use the Gilligard holster, because of it. 1.5% weapon damage, 4% assault rifle damage, and we have 2 of those of the same thing. Going up, we're going for the backpack. We have this Douglas and Harding backpack. You guys have seen it a lot. Like I said before, I use it just because it's the backpack that gives me the more armor in my entire collection. It has 20.5% total armor, 19,300 armor, and 5.5% critical hit chance. I wish in here if here was weapon damage instead of critical hit chance, but it's not too bad. The talents are gonna be Spark, damaging enemies with skills or explosives, grant 15% weapon damage for 15 seconds. It requires 9 reds, and we do have 10 of them. The second talent is going to be Hardened for 15% total armor. The mod is going to be only 1 offensive mod, which we have 2% weapon damage and 4% assault rifle damage, adding up for our build. And then moving down for the gloves, we have the Fairings Group AB, which gives us that 10% assault rifle damage bonus. Now this is the latest item that I added to this build. I was waiting for this. My friend Darkusus told me about this talent right here, Wicked. I knew it was gonna be strong, but I just didn't have these gloves right here that I needed. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a glove from first group AB that gives me assault rifle damage, critical hit chance, and the talent wicked. Now, a lot of people are gonna say why you're not using the perfect wicked, which I have. It will be 20% weapon damage instead of 15% weapon damage, but on this build I do need to have this first group AB because if I do the math, I will be doing a lot more damage I'll be getting from these gloves instead of this one right here, because this gives you the bonus for SMG. Now that's up to you if you can get the first group AB somewhere around the build. That's up to you, but for me I need to go with this for that 15% and then that 10% from the bonus itself. The attribute is going to be 2 reds, 11% assault rifle damage, and 2% critical hit chance. The talent wicked, when you apply a status effect, gain 50% weapon damage for 20 seconds, requires 4 red, and this will be procced in it with the spark almost at all time once we have that ignited procced on our Pyromaniac. And that's how this build is gonna be working for the damage most of the time. So basically, once we have a enemy burning, which is after this, after 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy. After we do this, we're gonna be doing 40% weapon damage to that burned enemy, and then also we're gonna have that 15% weapon damage from spark and another 15% weapon damage from wicked. So basically that's gonna proc and go synergize with everything and gives us a lot of damage. And also let's not forget about the chatterbox with that RPM a lot higher. So that's how you get a lot of damage on this build with the synergy of these basically 4 talents right here. And then moving down for the last item of this build is gonna be my Gilligard knee pads, and I'd like to use the Gilligard knee pads because they give you 2 blues mod slot, and we need 11 for this build, right? So this one gives us 18,400 armor and talent hard hitting, 25% damage to elite. Then mods, like I said, 2 defensive mod slot, both has 7,900 armor, 1% health, and 1.5% total armor. And that's basically the build. Works fine. Honestly, on the skills, I went with these 2 skills for damage. For the skills, I went with the Stinger Hive for the bleed effect, and also I have the Striker Drone just to activate spark in case we need it, right? But honestly, these 2 skills right here, you could change this though, because you already have wicked and spark activating by having your Pyromaniac, but I just have these 2 in here because I wanted to have them, right? Now going to the stats real quick, right? Let's check the stats. So for the weapon, we have 20,400 weapon damage for our Pyromaniac, 16.5% critical hit chance, 25% critical hit damage, 55% headshot damage. Then scrolling down for the offensive stats, it's gonna be a total of 13% all weapon damage, 52% assault rifle damage bonus, and then going down we have 93% damage to elites. Going on the defensive stats, right, we have 445,000 armor with 126,000 armor on kill. I think I can go up to 130,000 armor on kill if I had a glove with more armor overall and also a holster with more armor overall. This could be a lot higher. 130, I would say it could be possible on this build. For health, we have 41,000 health and 7,000 health on kill. And that's it, guys. That's the build. Just to mention, we are using, like I said, the gunner specialization because of that 10% armor on kill for this build, and that's basically the reason I'm using the gunner on this build. But yeah, that's the build, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think of this build. I'm enjoying it a lot. I will be bringing it to episode 3 and basically change the specialization for the new one and try it out with that specialization that has more burning, right? So I'll let you guys know once I get my hand into that specialization. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit me with a like. If you're new, you know what to do. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
have to check the logs to see if they accessed any sensitive data.